Hey everyone, welcome back to MindSpeak English, the podcast where we help you speak English more naturally, one topic at a time.
That's right. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Joseph. And today we're going to talk about something that's part of everyone's daily life, but we rarely stop to discuss it in English.
The kitchen, and more specifically, how to describe your kitchen and your cooking habits in English.
Now, before we start, I need to be honest about something.
Oh no, what?
I am not a great cook, at all. My kitchen is basically a place where I boil water, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, come on. You must cook something.
I make instant noodles very well, thank you very much.
Okay. Well, today's episode might actually change your life, Joseph, because we're going to cover kitchen vocabulary, how to describe the different areas of a kitchen, and how to talk about your cooking habits in natural, everyday English.
Perfect. Maybe after this episode, I'll actually start cooking.
We'll see about that. Now, whether you love cooking or you're more like Joseph and survive on takeout and instant noodles,
Hey!
this vocabulary is super useful for everyday conversations. You'll need it when you're talking to friends, describing your home, watching cooking shows in English, all kinds of situations.
Which, by the way, is a great way to improve your English. Cooking shows are fantastic for vocabulary. Gordon Ramsay alone has taught me so many colorful expressions.
That's one way to put it. All right, let's get into it. So, let's start with the basics. Imagine you're showing someone your kitchen for the first time. What do you say?
I'd probably say, welcome to the smallest room in my apartment.
Okay, fair. But what about the actual things in the kitchen? Let's go through some key vocabulary.
Right. So first, the big appliances. These are the large machines in your kitchen. In English, we call them kitchen appliances or just appliances.
The most important one is the refrigerator, or fridge in everyday speech. That's where you keep food cold.
Then there's the stove, also called a cooker in British English. That's what you use to cook food on the top surface using burners or hobs.
And the oven, that's the enclosed part where you bake or roast food. In many homes, the stove and oven are combined in one unit.
In modern kitchens, you also often have a microwave, the small electric appliance you use to heat food very quickly. Very popular with people like me.
The bachelor's best friend. And then there's the dishwasher, the machine that washes your dishes automatically.
Now that one I use regularly.
At least the dishes are clean. Now, beyond the big appliances, kitchens also have smaller things. We call them kitchen gadgets or small appliances.
Things like a toaster, a blender, a coffee maker, a kettle.
A kettle is so important. You really cannot function without a kettle.
Right, a kettle is what you use to boil water. Now let's talk about the kitchen surfaces and furniture.
You have countertops. Those are the flat surfaces where you prepare food. They're usually made of stone, wood, or tiles.
Then there are cabinets, the cupboards on the wall where you store dishes, glasses, and food. And under the counters, you have lower cabinets too.
There's also the kitchen sink. That's where you wash your hands, wash dishes, and rinse vegetables. It usually has a tap or a faucet.
And if you're lucky, a kitchen island. That's an extra counter in the middle of the kitchen. You can use it for preparing food or even for eating.
Love a good kitchen island. Now, what about the smaller tools you use for cooking? We call those kitchen utensils or cookware.
Things like a knife, a cutting board, a spatula, a wooden spoon, a whisk, a ladle.
A ladle is the big, deep spoon you use for serving soup or stew.
And then there are pots and pans. A pot is deep. You use it for soups, stews, and boiling pasta. A pan or frying pan is flatter. You use it for frying or sautéing.
Great. So we already have a lot of vocabulary to work with. And in our word tour segment, we're going to go even deeper. That's coming up right after this.
Okay, it's time for the word tour. This is the part of the episode where we take a closer look at some really useful words and expressions. And trust me, these will make your English sound much more natural.
In today's word tour, we're focusing on cooking verbs and everyday expressions you can use when talking about food and the kitchen. Let's go.
First word, to chop, C-H-O-P. To chop means to cut food into pieces using a knife. You can say chop the onions, chop the vegetables, chop the garlic.
You'll also often hear finely chopped. That means cut into very small pieces, and roughly chopped, cut into bigger, more irregular pieces, less precision required.
So if a recipe says 2 finely chopped onions, you want small, almost tiny pieces. But if it says roughly chopped tomatoes, you can relax a bit.
Next, to simmer. This means to cook something gently in liquid at a low temperature, just below boiling. You'll hear this a lot in recipes. Let it simmer for 20 minutes or reduce the heat and simmer.
The difference from boiling is important. When something boils, the liquid bubbles vigorously, big, strong bubbles. When it simmers, the bubbles are small and gentle. Simmering is usually better for things like soups, sauces, and stews. It lets the flavors develop slowly without cooking too aggressively. Third, to marinate. This is when you soak meat, fish, or vegetables in a flavored sauce before cooking. The sauce, usually made with oil, spices, herbs, and something acidic like lemon juice or vinegar, is called a marinade.
Marinating adds flavor and can also make meat more tender. You might say, I marinated the chicken overnight, or the fish was marinated in lime and herbs.
The longer you marinate, the more flavor gets absorbed. Some things marinate for 30 minutes, others go overnight in the fridge.
Fourth expression, meal prep. This is very popular these days. Meal prep means preparing several meals or ingredients in advance, usually at the start of the week, so that you don't have to cook every single day.
A lot of people do meal prep on Sundays. They cook a big batch of rice, chop vegetables, prepare proteins, and during the week, they just quickly assemble their meals.
You might say, I do meal prep every Sunday, or I spent Sunday afternoon on meal prep. It saves so much time during a busy week.
It's a great habit, life-changing, honestly. I keep meaning to start.
And you never do.
Correct.
And our fifth expression, comfort food. Comfort food is food that makes you feel good emotionally. It's usually warm, filling, and connected to happy memories or home.
For many people, comfort food might be a bowl of soup, mac and cheese, a slice of chocolate cake, or whatever their parents used to cook. It varies a lot by culture, but the emotional feeling is universal.
You'd say things like, pizza is my comfort food, or on bad days, I always want my comfort food.
What's your comfort food, Lisa?
Definitely a big bowl of pasta with a lot of cheese. You?
Instant noodles. At this point, it's deeply emotional.
That is genuinely concerning, Joseph. All right, now let's talk about something super practical, how to describe your cooking habits in English. This comes up all the time in conversation.
Someone asks you, do you like cooking? And you need to say more than just yes or no. You want to sound natural, right?
Exactly. So let's look at some common phrases for different situations.
If you cook a lot and enjoy it, you can say, I love cooking, or I'm really into cooking, or I cook most of my meals at home.
You might also say, I enjoy experimenting in the kitchen. That means you like trying new recipes and new flavor combinations, being creative.
Or I follow recipes closely, meaning you always use a recipe and prefer not to improvise.
On the other hand, maybe you're more like Joseph and you don't cook very much. In that case, you might say, I'm not much of a cook. That's a very natural expression.
Or I mostly eat out, meaning you usually go to restaurants or order delivery. I rely on takeout is another great phrase.
I stick to simple meals is also useful. It means you keep cooking basic and easy. Eggs, sandwiches, pasta with jar sauce.
Please don't judge me.
No judgment here. These are all totally valid. Now, what about describing how you cook in English?
Good point, because maybe you do cook, but in a specific way. You might say, I prefer to grill. Grilling means cooking over direct heat, like on a barbecue.
I like to slow cook. Slow cooking means using a low temperature over a long time. Think stews, soups, braised meats. Very tender, very flavorful.
I tend to stir-fry. Stir-frying is cooking quickly in a very hot pan with a little oil, moving everything around constantly. Super common in Asian cuisine.
And I bake a lot. Baking uses the oven to make bread, cakes, cookies, pies. Bakers tend to be very precise. Baking is more like a science than an art.
Now, how often do you cook? Here are some phrases for frequency.
I cook every day. I usually cook on weekdays. I only cook on weekends. I rarely cook, maybe once a week. I hardly ever cook.
And if someone asks, what do you usually make? You can say, I tend to make simple pasta dishes. I usually go for chicken and rice. I love trying new recipes on weekends.
You can also use the phrase, I'm not a bad cook. That's a modest way of saying you cook decently. It sounds humble and likable.
Whereas I'm a pretty good cook is a bit more confident, and I'm still learning is perfect for beginners. It shows humility and motivation.
Now, here's a quick challenge for you while you listen. Think about your cooking habits. How would you describe them using these phrases? Okay, we have one more great topic to cover. How to describe your actual kitchen. Imagine you're showing a friend around your home or chatting online about where you live. What do you say?
So first, size. You can describe your kitchen as spacious or roomy. That means big with plenty of room to move around. Or you might say it's compact or small. Or cozy. Cozy is smaller but still comfortable and inviting.
I'd say my kitchen is compact, but well organized. It has everything I need just in a small space.
Mine is functional. That's the politest way I can describe it.
We'll take it. Now, layout. The layout refers to how the kitchen is arranged. A common one these days is an open-plan kitchen. That means the kitchen is connected to the living room or dining area with no wall separating them. Very popular in modern apartments.
Then there's a galley kitchen, a narrow kitchen with counters running along both sides, like the kind you'd find on a ship or in smaller urban apartments.
Or a U-shaped kitchen, where the counters and cabinets wrap around 3 walls forming a U-shape. Lots of workspace.
Now, how do you describe what's in your kitchen? If it's well equipped, you might say, my kitchen has all the essentials, or I have everything I need to cook a proper meal.
You can describe it as clean and organized if you're tidy, or a bit cluttered if you have a lot of things on the counters. Cluttered means somewhat messy with too many things around.
Or you might say, I keep a pretty minimalist kitchen, meaning you don't have many gadgets or appliances, just the absolute basics.
And if you want to mention your favorite feature, you might say, my favorite thing about my kitchen is the natural light, or the gas stove, or the big window, or the island.
I personally love kitchens with a breakfast bar. That's a raised counter where you can sit and eat casually, usually with bar stools. Perfect for a quick coffee in the morning.
So, putting it all together, you might describe your kitchen like this. My kitchen is quite compact, but it's well organized. I have all the basics: a stove, an oven, a fridge, and a microwave. I don't have a dishwasher, so I wash everything by hand. My favorite thing is the big window. It lets in a lot of natural light.
See how natural that sounds? Short sentences, clear vocabulary, specific details. That's the goal.
And you can mix and match these expressions however you like. There's no single right answer. Just practice until it feels natural.
All right, here comes our favorite part of every episode, the comment challenge.
Yes, we want you to practice what you've learned today right here in the comment section. Writing is just as important as speaking, and this is a great low-pressure way to do it.
Here's your challenge. Describe your kitchen and cooking habits in 3 to 5 sentences. Use vocabulary from today's episode. Try to include at least 2 expressions we talked about.
For example, you could write something like, my kitchen is small but cozy. I have a gas stove, a fridge, and a microwave. I'm not much of a cook, but I love making pasta on weekends. My comfort food is definitely rice and beans.
Something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to practice. We read every single comment, and we love seeing your responses.
And if you found today's episode useful, please subscribe to MindSpeak English. A new episode comes out every week, and each one is packed with vocabulary, expressions, and tips to help you speak English more naturally.
We're on all the major podcast platforms, and if you leave us a 5-star review, it really helps other learners find us. It takes about 10 seconds and means the world to us.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of everything we covered today. Joseph?
We talked about the main parts of a kitchen, big appliances like the fridge, stove, and oven, smaller gadgets like toasters and kettles, and kitchen tools like pots, pans, knives, and cutting boards.
We had our word tour with 5 key expressions: to chop, to simmer, to marinate, meal prep, and comfort food.
We looked at lots of phrases to describe your cooking habits, whether you love cooking, avoid it, or fall somewhere in the middle.
And we practiced how to describe a kitchen, its size, layout, and what makes it special.
That was a packed episode. I feel like I've learned a lot. I might actually go home and describe my kitchen to myself in the mirror.
You do that, and maybe cook something while you're at it.
Baby steps, Lisa. Baby steps.
All right, everyone. That's it for today's episode of Mind Speak English. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate every one of you.
Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember, every new word you learn brings you one step closer to real fluency. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.